What's up, people? Boys, Aion 2 is knocking on the door, and maybe you're watching this video and game already released on the Taiwan and Korea, or maybe it's gonna release in a couple of hours, and I'm just dropping and uploading the classes preview guide videos. Remember guys, I'm a veteran Aion 1 player with 15 years of hardcore experience, and if this game is new for you, it's just another expansion for me, since I truly feel the spirit from Aion 1 to Aion 2, and especially for the classes, there is a lot of similarity. There is a lot of similar playstyle, a similar power, and a similar true soul from Aion 1's classes to in Aion 2. And guys, I'm hiring a special players for each classes, since I'm gonna play with the chanter and I want to make the high quality content for each classes. I'm just getting one of the best European players for each class one by one. I'm gonna split my video revenue to them to give you a high quality content for all classes in Aion 2. And if you don't want to miss that videos, you have to hit the subscribe button for my channel, and at the end, if you will like the video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you're planning to play Aion 2, you're gonna need something to fix your ping. And right now, the GearUP is the best option on the market. This is the Singaporean company and have one of the best connection to Asian servers. Here is the short results based from popular locations to Aion's Korean and Taiwanese servers. GearUP is not a VPN, it's the ping reducer that finds the fastest routes from your PC to the game server. So your connection stays stable and smooth while you're playing. This program is so simple and so soft to use. Also, it takes the lowest amount of the RAM space what I have seen in the ping reducer programs. And here is the cool part. You can actually go to the GearUP webpage and check the ping for Aion 2 from your location. Also, my viewers have the special offer to test the program for free. Just find the GearUP link in any of my videos, or you can find them on the pinned comment. Download the program, activate my code aluckyro and get extra free testing time. Then you can download the Aion Classic from Taiwanese Purple and check ping there. Since Aion 2 will have exact same location in the Taiwan where Aion Classic is, so with this movement you can measure your ping in Aion 2. And if you like it, and trust me you will love it, use my promo code aluckyro1 and get 20% discount for every monthly plan. And boys, if you're like me and can't wait to test the game on its first launch on Asian region, GearUP is the best option for the smooth gameplay. Alright, now let's get back to the video. Let's talk about the Sorcerer and what you can expect from the Sorcerer in Aion 2. Aion 1 Sorcerer was a single target high burst damage mage class. This class actually could done a lot of amount of the damage in the first 10 seconds. Like, it was just bombing you, it was just nuking you on the target, and yeah, you was just dead if the Sorcerer was on the fully skilled. And Aion 2 Sorcerer looks exactly the same. Exactly 101 same single target high burst damage mage class for its build. What the build we see, what the build we did not see, the rest of the skills I'm sure there will be some AoE farm, since in Aion 2 all classes have AoE farm ability, but the main build with the main role for this class will be to nuke the target, to choose the target and just throw all your skills and the target will be dead. Now let's talk about the PvE wise and PvP wise for the Sorcerer. PvE wise, Sorcerer was kinda same thing, since if there was some elite mob and you had competition to kill the elite mob, Sorcerer was so good class to have in party, because again it was doing a lot of amount of the damage. On the long-term PvE content such as boss with high HP, it was highly depending on the patches, since there was some patches where the gladiator and where the assassin was out DPSing the Sorcerer, and there was a patches where the Sorcerer and assassin was fighting between each other for the first position of the DPS wise. In general boys, as the solo play for the start, I was getting a lot of pleasure with the Sorcerer. I was the Sorcerer main when I first touched in Aion 1, and that class was so good because it had mix for defense and for offense. High survivability rate for the Aion 1 Sorcerer was mixed for the high burst damage, and that was so good feeling and so good gameplay for me. What I see Aion 2 Sorcerer, that class is more focused for the deal the damage, and it have less focus for defensive ability but high offensive state, like, and most of the skills are for the hit the target, for silence the target, for bind the target, actually to to destroy the target. And the PvP Sorcerer was one of the major class in the group because of its sleeping abilities. It could just skip, just sleep the one player, like it could sleep the tank, it could sleep the cleric, so they could just cut out the one player for the party. So the Sorcerer was high usable class. You just sleep the one target and you are just bursting the second target. We also have the sleeping skill in Aion 2, and we don't know if we have the mass sleep where you can sleep the whole group, but for single target sleep we can see, and we see in its gameplay. Basically, if you like to play with the mage classes, and if you like to play as the high burst mage class, like you just press 2 skills and target it will be dead, this class is especially for you. Now let's go and let's see the skills English translated version. And now let's start with our first skill, which is the flash arrow. This is an engine skill, this is a magical attack skill, and it's have the fire attribute. This deals 600 damage, fire damage to the target in 20 meters, and it restores your mana. This is a single target skill, and with the specialization you can make this skill as a life steal. So yeah, you can set your character on the life steal. This is the mouse left button, since we cannot see the cooldown for the skill, and those skills are usually have like 1 second cooldown, so they are like perma usable. Alright, now let's move to the second mouse click skill. This is the ice chain. This is also the engine skill, and it is the magical attack skill with a weakening debuff, and it have the water attack attribute. This deals almost 800 water damage up to 4 enemies in the 4 meter radius up to 20 meter distance. It is slow them for 40% movement speed for 5 seconds, and when you are hitting this, it will reduce the recast time for the winter binding by 1 second. With the specialization, you can give it more power, like you can increase the power up to 12%, and you can increase the slow duration up to by 2 seconds. So how it works: you target the enemy in 20 meters, and once you will cast this skill, he will get the damage, and around 4 meter of his radius, 4 player will also get the damage, and they will get the slow debuff. This is a chain skill, so it means that it will have the chain combination. Now let's get to the Q and E skills, and sadly we only have the Q skill. They did not show the E skill, and our Q is the orange of the focus. This is a magical enforced skill which gives you the power. So once you will activate this skill, you get 50% speed. This is kinda casting speed increase buff, and your skill reduce cooldowns are get by 10%, and you are getting more mana. So this is the buff. This is kind of self buff, and with the specialization you can increase the power of this buff by 10%, almost all its proficiency. We cannot see the cast time, we cannot see the recast time, but again, the Q and E skills, also mouse left and right button skills, doesn't have the much cooldown. And it's time for our first normal skill, which is the Flame Harpoon, and this is the fire attribute mage attack skill. It deals 1600 fire damage to the target in the 20 meter, and the skill speed increased by 20% for the recast time of the Hellfire, and it will get the timer gets reduced for the recast of the Hellfire by 1 second. This is a single target skill, single target burst damage skill. With the specialization, you can mark the option to be able to use this skill while you're moving, and you can also increase the skill speed up to 20%. As I mentioned, this skill is an insta-cast, and it's the single target skill within 20 meter distance. Our second normal skill is the Beater of the Wind. This is a magical attack water type of the attribute skill, which summons the cold wind, lasts for 3 seconds on the target location in the 20 meter distance. This cold wind pull ups to 4 enemy in the 4 meter, and they are pulling them together, and they are getting the 1600 water damage. And there is a 30% chance that you can even bind the enemy, but if the target is the NPC, there is 100% chance that you will bind them. With the specialization, you can increase this animation time by 1 second, and you can grant him as the debuff to reduce the water resistance up to 50% for 3 seconds. It is an instacast skill. It have the 20-second cooldown. This is the 20 meter skill, and it is an hour skill. Alright, time for our third normal skill, which is the Winter Bandage. This is the engine skill. It will have its chain combination, and this is the magical attack weakening debuff skill, which use as the water damage attribute. It deals 1600 water damage up to 4 enemies with the 5-meter radius of yourself, and it slows them 3 seconds. For 30% chance, you can also freeze them for 3 seconds. But if the target is an NPC, there is a 100% chance for all these debuffs. And with the specialization, you can increase the chance of the debuffs and you can increase the duration of them. This is the close range skill. It activates the 4 meter around you and it contains the maximum 4 players or 4 NPCs. Cast is the insta and recast time is the 45 seconds. And our last normal skill is the Hellfire. This is the rechargeable skill, magical attack fire attribute skill, which has 3 levels of the recharge, and it does damage between 2500 to 4000. It depends on what level of the charge you will do, and it does the single target damage within 20 meters of the radius of the player. When you're full charge it on the 3 level and you will attack it to the enemy, it will evade them, block and evasion, so it's like a guaranteed hit. And once the meteor will drop on the area, it will create the crater for the 5 seconds up to 5 meter crater, and the people in that crater, 4 enemies, will get 700 damage. This skill, as I mentioned, is a 20 meter radius skill for the single target at the first cast, and it have the 45-second cooldown. Alright, now let's go to the big boys and let's talk about our first Stigma skill. This is a delayed explosion. This is a magical attack fire damage weakening debuff skill, which does 2700 damage to the target in 20 meters after 4 seconds. This is a delayed explosion. If you never played Aion 1, the sorcerers had the similar skill, which was awaking the target from the sleep, so you could cast the number of the skills, and once she was awake, it was explode all the same time. This is some good known skill. The target damage resistance reduce also 20% during that duration, and you're gaining extra 200 mana. It is also the single target skill in 20 meter radius, and the cooldown is only for 30 seconds. Now let's go to our second Stigma skill, which have the huge cooldown, and let's see what it's doing. It is the Glacial Strike, magical attack weakening water type of the attribute damage, which does the 4300 water damage up to 4 enemies with the 4 meter radius in 20 meter range. So you're targeting someone in 20 meter, and once you will cast this skill to that enemy, he will get the damage, and around him 4 meter radius, 3 more players will also get same equal damage. This one have recast time 1 minute and the distance is a 20 meter, but casting time is then insta cast. Our third Stigma skill is the Soul Freeze, which is the magical attack weakening skill. It deals 2500 water damage to the target in 20 meter and have 75% chance to seal them to 5 seconds. This is the root. The target also has 50% chance to bound. I think seal is like an silence, because Soul Freeze, this skill in Aion 1 was the silence, and now I read the bound. It means that you can silence them and you can also bind them. Action point, the reduced their action point, the game have active block, so them active block power will get reduced by 1000, and if target is NPC, those debuffs are 100% chance to bind them and to silence them. This is also the single target skill in 20 meter radius, insta cast, and have 1 minute cooldown. This is so good skill, and a lot of people say that, oh, this is a mobile game with bunch of AoE skills and such. No, check the Sorcerer. This build is like a single target burst build for the... I will talk it a bit later when I will finish the skill review. And now let's move to our final Stigma skill, which is the Lumial Space. This is the engine skill. It will have its chain combination, and this is kinda a magical damage skill. It deals 2200 damage up to 4 enemies with the 5 meter around you, and has 75% chance to immobilize them for 3 seconds. It's just freezing them. If the target is an NPC, then this everything is the 100% chance. With the specialization, you can grant these skills to be more 20%, to deal more 20% damage if it hits the more targets. And it is an insta cast, and since this is the Stigma, it has 3 or 2 minutes. I cannot see like 2 minutes cooldown. Alright, now let's get back and let's conclusion this everything. The Sorcerer for this build is the single target bursting damage build, which is amazing. It is really amazing, and overall, as I said, this class looks so good, and if you want to play as a Sorcerer to be the bursting class for single target, this is really good. This class, like the others, from this point of view looks so good. Game is not out yet, and I can't tell you how it feels, but I can definitely tell you it looks fantastic on the paper. Almost all classes from this gameplay look smooth and stylish like the original Aion 1's 8 classes was. But boys, once the game comes out, in its first week I will drop the renewed classes videos, and guys, as I said, I have amazing people for each classes, true hardcore and one of the best players from Aion 1, and I'm kinda hiring them in a job, since I cannot focus all 8 classes to make the top content for each. So I just decided to split the video revenue to them, and they will provide me them gameplays and help me to make incredible guides for each classes. Yes boys, that's how I work. Instead to drop some average class guides, I'm always focusing to make the high quality content, even if I need to pay the money for it. This is my mentality boys, always the best and always the maximum, and I hope you will enjoy those videos. So if you don't want to miss any of them, click the subscribe button for my channel. That's also increase my motivation to push this quality content for the future. By the way, I'm gonna start to stream on Twitch, so if you have any question regarding Aion 2, you can come and find me on the Twitch. I'm starting the live streams from around November 15, so follow me on the Twitch and let's make fun together. That was it boys for today, and as always, see you in the next video.